I remember when I first started learning Spanish, one of the most confusing parts was all those pronouns and little words that looked like pronouns. It was simple enough at the start when there were just subject pronouns. Yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, and ellas. Remember? If that's not familiar to you, you should go back and watch the video I incorrectly called personal pronouns. It should have been subject pronouns. But soon came possessive adjectives, the simplest ones after subject pronouns, but with two sets now, a little harder to keep straight. But it didn't stop there. Oh no, not even close. Prepositional pronouns, look at that. Then direct object pronouns. So now for the first person singular, we have yo, me without the accent, me with the accent, and me. For second person singular, we have tu with the accent, tu without the accent, ti, and now te. There's still indirect object pronouns too. Did you notice for the third person, we already had el and ellos, ella and ellas, then su and sus, then lo, los, la, and las, but now let and less. Whew! This isn't even one of those things you can just brush aside for later either. They're all very common and pretty important. Keeping all the words straight is one thing, and not an easy one, but knowing which one to use when is a whole other ballgame. The problem is, they were presented to me one at a time, like they should be, but were never compared to one another, like they should be. So that's exactly what we're gonna do here at Gringo Español, starting today. I'm gonna show you one set at a time, then compare what you just learned to what you learned before. You'll still get a little confused and make mistakes all the time at first, that's unavoidable, but this is your best shot at going straight to understanding. Perfection will come with practice. Shall we do this? After you. Hola, soy Jordan, and this is a Spanish Quickie. Fast, easy Spanish lessons from somebody who speaks your language. Possessive adjectives are pretty easy and straightforward. They're used to show ownership. You know that famous phrase, mi casa es tu casa? That means my house is your house. Both the me and tu, or my and your, are possessive adjectives. My house is your house. Here are all the possessive adjectives in Spanish. Let's look for the interesting stuff. First, mi looks a lot like my, which is what it means. Me is my. Mi casa es tu casa. My house is your house. Then tu is almost exactly like the subject pronoun for that same spot. Take a look. Tu with the accent is the subject pronoun and means you. Then tu without the accent is the possessive adjective and means your. They're both said the same, or basically the same. I say them the same for sure. So this one's really easy. Then su is used for the third person, for both singular and plural. That's new, the same word for singular and plural. Then up here, nuestro looks somewhat similar to nosotros, the subject pronoun for that spot. Nosotros is we, and nuestro is our. And vuestro, in the same way, looks like vosotros, the subject pronoun for that spot. Vosotros is you, plural informal, and vuestro is your, plural informal. Just like with subject pronouns, if you want to say your formal, you would use su. So if you're talking to a friend, your book would be tu libro. But if you're talking with a teacher, your book would be su libro. So a formal way to say the popular phrase from before would be mi casa es su casa, or my house is your house. It means the same thing as mi casa es tu casa, it's just more formal. So if you don't know the circumstances, su libro could mean his book, her book, or their book, or your book even, formal your, singular and plural. If any of that doesn't make sense, you should go back and watch the video called Formal Conjugation. Looking at all these words in action real quick, my book would be mi libro. Your book is tu libro. His book or her book is su libro. Our book is nuestro libro. Your book, plural informal in Spain basically, is vuestro libro, and their book is su libro. Here's the confusing part. Possessive adjectives have to match in sex and number the thing possessed, not the possessor. So if the thing possessed is just one book, it works exactly like I just told you. Book is libro, which is singular and masculine. All the possessive adjectives I just showed you are singular and masculine. But me, tu, and su all have plural forms too. Mis, tus, and sus. You just add an s to each word. So my books would be mis libros. Books is now plural, libros, and the possessive adjective has to match libros, so mis instead of me. This was confusing for me at first, and still a little now sometimes, because at least for me, instinctually, I feel like it should match the person doing the possessing. But that's just not the case. I'm still one person, but there are two books, so mis libros. Then your books is tus libros, and their books is sus libros. Then these last two guys here, and remember, you You only have to worry about vuestro in Spain. These two words each have plural forms like the others, but these two specifically also have feminine forms like their subject pronoun counterparts. We can be nosotros or nosotras, and you plural can be vosotros or vosotras. If it's two men or a mixed group, you use nosotros and vosotros, remember? And if it's just females, nosotras and vosotras. Well, our or nuestro can be nuestros, but it can also be nuestra or nuestras, so 4 forms total. Then your or vuestro can be vuestros, vuestra, or vuestras. Again, all possessive adjectives match the thing being possessed. Our book is nuestro libro, but our store is nuestra tienda. You use nuestra instead of nuestro here because tienda is feminine. Our books would be nuestros libros, and our stores would be nuestras tiendas. That's it. Not so bad, right? It just gets more and more confusing as the different forms pile up. My 2 pieces of advice are, number 1, learn these as well as possible now as you encounter them. That way they'll be more familiar and you'll be able to better recognize and remember the differences. Number 2, don't worry about this too much. Learn it as well as you can for sure, but if you mess up, don't worry, that'll almost never stop you from being understood. Saying me instead of yo or yo instead of me is essentially an I versus my thing. You want to be correct, but it's not a huge deal right now. If a 7-year-old came up to you and said, my love you, you'd understand them, right? To help you get this down and keep it all straight, I created a practice worksheet for you. Go to gringoespanol.com/quickies/possessive-adjectives. That link is also below this video. Download the practice sheet and do it. The answer key is also at that link. First, you'll practice using the different possessive adjectives you just learned. Then I mix it all up with subject pronouns so you can practice choosing which to use when. In the meantime, if you like this video, please like it or give me the big thumbs up. That's how I know I did a good job and I should do more of the same. And have you signed up for the Gringo Espanol newsletter yet? If not, go to gringoespanol.com/free-updates right now. I'm releasing my new travel Spanish training program soon, and subscribers to that newsletter get a special deal not available to the public. That's what I've said since day one, and I'm a man of my word. Subscribers to the Gringo Espanol newsletter get special deals. That link is also below this video. I'll see you next time. Hasta luego. Adios, amigo.